I never thought I'd be that woman, the one who strayed, who crossed lines that should never be crossed. I always pictured myself as the devoted wife, the mother who held everything together. But here I was, standing at the crossroads of my life, staring down a path I never intended to take. My name is Jenna. I'm 42 years old, married to my high school sweetheart, Mike. We'd been together for over 20 years and had 2 beautiful kids, both now in their teens. On the outside, we had it all: a lovely home, a steady income, a life that many envied. But inside, I felt invisible, like a ghost drifting through my own life. Mike was a great father, but over the years, the spark between us dimmed. He was busy with work, chasing promotions while I managed the household and balanced the kids' schedules. We barely connected anymore. The nights that used to be filled with laughter and intimacy had turned into quiet dinners and tired conversations about bills and responsibilities. I longed for connection, for someone to see me, to truly see me. Then came Darius, Mike's childhood friend, fresh out of prison and struggling to get back on his feet. He was the complete opposite of Mike, rough around the edges, charismatic, and full of life. He had that kind of energy that drew people in, and I found myself captivated by him. It felt thrilling, intoxicating. He was broken, but somehow still so alive. I found myself laughing again, feeling alive again, if only for a moment. It started innocently enough. Darius would come by the house to hang out with Mike, sharing stories of his time in prison like they were old war tales. They'd reminisce, and I'd sit on the edge of the couch listening, trying to join in. But I felt like a spectator in my own life. I wanted to be part of their camaraderie, part of something bigger. I was desperate for attention and affection that I wasn't getting at home. One evening, after Mike had gone to bed, Darius stayed behind to help me with some home repairs. We were alone, and as we worked, I felt this spark ignite between us. The air was thick with unspoken tension. I was nervous but also exhilarated. I could feel his eyes on me, and when I caught his gaze, my heart raced. "Jenna, you're amazing," he said, and I could hear the sincerity in his voice. Those simple words ignited something in me. I'd forgotten what it felt like to be appreciated. As the weeks passed, Darius and I began to spend more time together. Secret meetings in the kitchen when Mike wasn't around. Stolen glances that lingered just a second too long. I told myself it was harmless fun, just 2 friends reconnecting. But deep down, I felt the darkness creeping in. Then one fateful night, it happened. Mike had taken the kids to a school event, leaving Darius and me alone in the house. The tension was electric, palpable. I could feel every nerve ending in my body humming. We laughed and joked, but soon the laughter faded into an uncomfortable silence. "Jenna, I can't pretend anymore," Darius said, his voice low and intense. My heart was pounding in my chest as I looked into his eyes, searching for a way out, but all I saw was desire, a longing I hadn't felt in years. In a moment of weakness, I leaned in closer, and he captured my lips with his. It was a kiss filled with desperation, filled with everything I had been missing. I felt alive, but I also felt a weight settle in my chest, a realization that I was crossing a line I could never uncross. Afterward, I pulled away, my breath shaky. "Darius, we can't do this. I'm married." "I know," he said, looking at me with that intensity that made me feel like I was the only person in the world. "But you're not happy, are you? You deserve more than this." His words echoed in my mind, igniting a battle within me. I didn't want to be this woman. I didn't want to hurt Mike or destroy my family. But the thrill of being desired, of feeling alive again, was intoxicating. For weeks I struggled with my choices. I told myself it was just one mistake, but the encounters with Darius became more frequent. Each time, I felt a little more lost, a little more entangled in a web of lies. I tried to push him away, but I craved his touch, his attention. One evening, when I finally broke down, I reached out to Darius, desperate for that thrill, that feeling of being wanted. I met him at a bar, my heart racing with both excitement and guilt. I knew I was playing with fire, but the thrill of being wanted felt like a drug I couldn't resist. Jenna, he said, his voice smooth, almost seductive. I've missed you. His touch sent shivers down my spine, and for a moment I let myself forget everything else. I let go of the guilt, the pain, and the weight of my choices. We spent the night wrapped up in each other, but in the back of my mind I felt that nagging guilt, the shadow of my life with Mike creeping in. I returned home, my heart heavy with the weight of my choices. I could see Mike sitting on the couch, looking at me with a mixture of hope and despair. Where were you? He asked softly, his eyes searching for answers. I opened my mouth to speak, but the words wouldn't come. How could I explain the conflicting emotions swirling inside me? The thrill of Darius's kiss still lingered on my lips, a cruel reminder of what I'd chosen over the man who had loved me for so long. Jenna? Mike pressed, his voice tinged with worry. You're scaring me. I sank down onto the couch beside him, feeling small and vulnerable. I don't know how to fix this, Mike, I finally admitted, my voice breaking. I feel so lost, and I've made mistakes. Serious mistakes. He ran a hand through his hair, frustration evident on his face. You've been seeing him, haven't you? You can't keep running back to him. I know, I whispered, tears welling in my eyes. But he makes me feel alive. I thought I could just have a taste of that. A moment of fun to escape all of this. I gestured around us at the home that felt so suffocating now. But you don't need him to feel alive, Jenna. You have a life here. A family, Mike said, his voice rising with emotion. We can work on this. You can come back to me. Can I? I replied, the bitterness creeping into my voice. Can I really? After everything? We sat in silence, the tension hanging between us like a thick fog. Mike's expression softened, and I could see the hurt etched on his face. I want to understand. I want to help you, but you need to let me in. I don't even know if I can, I said, my heart aching. Part of me is scared that I've ruined everything beyond repair. I never wanted to hurt you. I trusted you, Jenna, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. I thought we were in this together. In that moment, I felt a crushing wave of guilt wash over me. I had betrayed not just Mike, but everything we had built together. I felt like I was standing at the edge of a cliff, and I didn't know if I had the strength to jump back. Mike, I can't keep lying to you. I care about you, but Darius, he makes me feel seen. You've been so focused on work and providing that I started feeling like I didn't matter. The truth poured out like a dam bursting, and once I started, I couldn't stop. Do you want him, Jenna? Is that it? His eyes bore into mine, searching for the truth he feared to find. I hesitated, the weight of my decision pressing down on me. I want to feel loved, Mike. I want to feel like I'm more than just a mother or a wife. I need to feel alive, not just survive. Then let's find a way to do that together, he said, his voice trembling. I want you to feel that way too, but not with him. Please, Jenna, don't let him take you away from me. The sincerity in his plea hit me hard. I saw the love we had shared, the years of commitment and friendship. It was hard to reconcile that with the hurt I had caused, but I could feel something shifting inside me. I don't want to lose you, I said, my voice cracking, but I don't know how to fix this. Let's take it one step at a time, Mike suggested gently. I'll make time for us. We can go out, just the two of us, like we used to. We can talk, reconnect. You don't have to go through this alone. I wanted to believe him, but fear twisted in my gut. Could I truly go back? Could we heal after this betrayal? But deep down, I knew I had to try. For my family, for the love we had shared, I had to fight. As the days turned into weeks, Mike and I began to navigate the rocky terrain of our relationship. We went on dates, talked more openly about our feelings, and slowly, we started to understand each other again. It wasn't easy. There were nights filled with tears, moments of anger, and deep conversations about our hopes and fears. We began to peel back the layers that had grown over the years. revealing the raw and honest feelings we had buried under the weight of our routine lives. One evening, we sat in the backyard, the sun setting and casting a warm glow around us. I looked over at Mike, really looked at him. The lines on his face told stories of hard work and dedication, but his eyes were filled with pain and hope. I know I messed up, I said softly, but I want to make this work. I want to find my way back to you. He nodded, a flicker of relief washing over his features. We can do this, Jenna. I'm not giving up on us. Still, Darius lingered in the back of my mind. I knew I had to sever ties completely if I wanted any chance of rebuilding my marriage. I picked up my phone, hands trembling as I typed out a message to him. Darius, we need to talk. I can't see you anymore. I hit send, my heart racing. The message felt like a final goodbye, and a weight lifted off my shoulders. But soon after, my phone buzzed with a reply. Are you sure about this? You're really going to choose him over me? His words stung, and I felt a moment of doubt creep in. But then I remembered the pain I had caused Mike, the love we still had, buried but not gone. I have to. It's not just about me anymore. I put my phone down, resolving not to look back. I focused on rebuilding my relationship with Mike. We started small, taking long walks and cooking dinner together, reigniting the bond we had once shared. We even went to couples therapy, where we learned how to communicate better and address the underlying issues that had driven us apart. One evening, as we were cooking together, I felt a spark. Mike was cracking jokes, his laughter filling the room, and for the first time in a long time, I felt that familiar warmth return. Remember when we made that terrible stir-fry? He asked, a twinkle in his eye. How could I forget? I laughed, shaking my head at the memory. We almost set the smoke alarm off. The shared laughter felt healing, reminding us of the joy we once found in each other. I could see him opening up again, letting down the walls he had built after the betrayal. However, just as things began to feel normal, Darius reached out again. He sent a text asking to meet, claiming he wanted closure. My heart raced at the thought. Part of me wanted to tell him to go away, to focus on my marriage, but another part was curious. I hesitated for days, torn between the life I was rebuilding and the thrill of the unknown. But in my heart, I knew what I had to do. Finally, I texted Darius back, saying I would meet him, but I told Mike first. I need you to trust me, I said, my voice steady. I need to put this to rest once and for all. Are you sure? Mike asked, concern etched on his face. You know he'll try to manipulate you. I know, but I need to face this for us. I squeezed his hand, reassuring him of my commitment. He reluctantly agreed, but I could see the worry in his eyes. The meeting with Darius was set for a quiet cafe. When I arrived, I felt a knot form in my stomach. Darius was already there, leaning back in his chair, that familiar cocky grin on his face. Jenna, it's good to see you, he said, his voice smooth. I forced a smile, but it felt tight. We need to talk about everything, I said, getting straight to the point. He nodded, but I could see the gleam of mischief in his eyes. You know, you could have had everything with me. We had something special, he said, leaning in closer. Stop, I interrupted, my voice firm. What we had was a mistake. I love my husband. I made a choice to be with him. I can't keep going back and forth. I need you to respect that. He frowned, clearly not happy with my response. You're kidding yourself if you think it's over. We had chemistry, Jenna. You know that. Don't pretend it was just a fling. The temptation was there, but I could feel the strength I had built with Mike swelling within me. It's not a fling. It was a mistake. And I'm done. I'm happy with my family now, and I won't let you drag me back. Darius smirked, but I could see the frustration in his eyes. Fine, but don't think this is over. I'll always be here, waiting. I stood up, my heart pounding, but my resolve strong. Goodbye, Darius. I walked out, the weight of the world lifting off my shoulders. I felt lighter, freer. When I got home, Mike was waiting, worry etched on his face. How did it go? He asked, his voice tense. I told him I'm done. I'm committed to us, I said, my voice steady but trembling slightly. His face softened, relief flooding his features. I'm proud of you, Jenna. I know that was hard. It was, but I needed to do it, I replied, taking his hands in mine. I want to be with you, and I want to rebuild our life together. As we sat together on the couch, I felt a warmth blossom between us. We talked late into the night, sharing dreams and fears, slowly weaving back the fabric of our relationship. Months passed, and though the journey wasn't always smooth, we continued to grow stronger. We went to couples therapy regularly, focusing on communication and understanding. Mike became more present, making an effort to prioritize our relationship. I learned to express my needs, and we found ways to reconnect. Date nights, spontaneous outings, and intimate conversations. Slowly, the darkness of my past began to lift, replaced by hope and love. Darius faded into a distant memory, and I learned to appreciate the love I had almost lost. The family I had built with Mike felt renewed, stronger than ever. In the end, I learned that love takes work, that life can throw unexpected challenges our way. But with commitment, honesty, and a willingness to change, it's possible to emerge from the darkness and rediscover the light.